to another episode of Put That On Something. It's actually a special episode. Put That On Something. It's just a story time episode of my whole flight situation. Getting to the Ocho Rios Jamaica cruise on Carnival. So, for one, thank you everybody for joining Reggie TV. I hope y'all subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Usually I got my big brother Lou with me. He's not with me on this one just because, it was kind of a scenario he wasn't really involved with. But I just wanted to give y'all some insight on just how this whole thing went down. So let's start right there. Jumping right into it, okay? Starting off, we had an afternoon flight. That was a big mistake, okay? Now I know some people are gonna jump in the comments or whatever and be like, afternoon flights are great, I always enjoy them. Every time I seem to take an afternoon flight, something happens. I don't know. So I usually take red eyes or early morning, like first flight of the day type thing. But we had to get our direct flights. We were figuring, hey, we're going in 3 days before our cruise day. So what's there to worry about, right? Shouldn't be any issues. Let me tell you what is the issue, okay? Afternoon flight. Before we even leave, I packed the truck and all that stuff, but before we even, I'm out there, everybody loading up. Everybody ready to go? Y'all ready to go? You ready to go? We all ready to go. Walk into the car. Flight gets delayed. Originally supposed to leave at, I think it was like 3:29 or something in the afternoon. Flight gets delayed. We all walk back in the house. So at least we at the house, right? Right? At least you at the house. You get to go back and chill. But you anxious. You ready. You've been planning this for a year. You ready to go. So, everybody walked back in. We like, cool. We're going to wait it out. Delay like an hour or so. So we go in the house and we wait it out. All right. So, after the first flight delay, we go in the house, we come back, we get in the car, we leave, right? We're on our way there, everything's fine. I'm parking my car at the parking spot at the airport. Park your car in there, you pay your fee. They watch you, you can pay for covered parking, you pay for uncovered parking. Nice little spot. They actually, I can plug them right here. They actually always been good. They put all your luggage in there, take you to the airport. Great, right? Get there, get to the baggage claim. And American Airlines does this thing where sometimes when you check a bag, you pay to check your bag, of course. You pay to check your bags, like $40. You can check a carry-on for free. Their way of trying to, ease up the overhead, access or overhead bins, from being, too full. So, you can check your carry-on. I'm thinking like, cool, that way I could be bag free. I only got my little personal bag on me. I'm straight. I'm thinking I'm carefree. So I check mine, the wife, of course, she got 3 bags, but she be doing her thing. She bring a lot of stuff we don't think about. But she got 3 bags. So she checked in 2 of the bags. So she, of course, got to pay for both. She checked her 2. One really big luggage bag and then one like medium-sized one. I got one really big one and then one carry-on. So, of course, all my stuff is gone. Everything that I pretty much have taken is going to be with them. And, of course, majority of her stuff is, with them, of course, with the exception of her carry-on. So we go, check in, go through TSA. Everything is fine, right? Just like normal. Get to the spot, we sit down. All right, now. So now we sit there, we chilling. Boom, the next delay comes, pushing us back a few hours. Then the next delay comes, pushing us back a few hours. Then the next delay comes, pushing us back a few hours. At this point, we have, I'm checking all the delays right now. Our first flight was supposed to leave at 3:29. We got the first delay. That pushed us back to 5:05. Then we got another delay, 6:05. Another delay, 7:05. Another delay, 9 o'clock. At this point, we're like, man, we've been in the airport 6-7 hours at this point. Remember, you go a couple hours before, right? So we've been at the airport since 1:30, 2 o'clock. When we first got the first delay, we decided, okay, we're gonna go at like 3 o'clock. So we've basically been there since like 2 or 3 o'clock. We had to go put our car in a parking spot. So we gotta go a little early, we need time to move from the parking spot to get our luggage loaded up and all that stuff. So we've been there. But by this point, they're pushing us back. They finally push us back again to 10 a.m. the next day. So this is after being pushed back 4 or 5 times to 9 o'clock. Remember, mind you, again, whole family of 5, we're all in the airport all day. So, you gotta eat there, you gotta do all that, you're trying to figure out snacks. We bought a couple of little snacks, but you didn't bring enough for us to be in the airport for, 7, 8, 9 hours. So now we're in the airport. They canceled us, they push us back, delay us to 10 a.m. the next day. So we're like, now what are we supposed to do? We come to the compensation issue, right? Because y'all gotta compensate us for something. You can't have 5 flight delays, and have us in the airport 10 hours, and now I gotta figure it out. But because we live here, it's a little tricky. My thing was, I didn't want you got my luggage for one. Now, I haven't even told you about that we're gonna push the luggage to the side. But you got my luggage. So me going home, I really didn't want to go through the whole situation of going home, then coming back and not really sure about that situation. I kind of wanted to stay where my luggage was, or at least where I thought my luggage was. So I'm like, let's just figure out if they can give us a room close to the hotel, close to the airport. So that way, we're right here if something happens. No, I don't have my car, because I'm not going to go and pull it out of the thing and then have to go put it back in there and all that when I'm not really sure about this flight situation. I'm not sure if we're going to be on the next flight or whatever it is. So I want to leave my car or my truck kind of where it is and, have them pay for us to get around. Like if we got to go back and forth from the hotel, whatever it is, then that should be on y'all. Otherwise, you should have got me to Miami, right? So I don't really feel no kind of way about that. So we stand in this long line. Line is just going back for miles. It's like, mind you, all this is happening. Children are there, they're irritable. Even though they're young adults, they're irritated. They're getting irritated with each other. They're getting irritated with the situation. It's just, everybody's uncomfortable. Everybody's ready to, relax and be on vacation and have fun. And just like, it ain't happening. Like, something's stopping us from getting to that point. So now we stand in this long line. Of course, it's taking 40 minutes, 50 minutes to even get up to somebody to just figure it out, right? Because now we're just, basically, you want us to lay around this airport. I'm not doing that. I just can't do that. So y'all gotta pay for us to lay our head for the night. And yeah, I live, a city or 2 away, but I'm not about to do all that. It's a bigger inconvenience for me to go get my truck out of there and go home and then have to come back. And what if you cancel it again? What if you delay it again? Then I gotta leave and figure out where I'm not about to do all that. And you got my luggage. Mind you, the whole deal was trying to stay near my luggage, or our luggage. So I figured we go up there. We finally make it to the counter. Finally get up there, And the crazy thing is, these people at American Airlines are acting as if like this is like normal. Like, oh yeah, this is a tough week to fly. Oh yeah, this is inconvenience. We're sorry about that. We're gonna try to figure it out. And it's act like it's just so normal, and it's just like like it's not a bunch of people that's displaced. Like yeah, luckily I live in the city. But there's some people that's on the connecting flight. They're coming from another country. Like they're like, I don't know what the hell's going on, and they're stuck. So it's just like the attitude behind you guys messing up. You should have had a lot more empathy, like for the people that's going through their situation. But that's a whole nother situation. I'm standing on my soapbox. But back to finally make it to the counter. They give us vouchers for 2 rooms, because it's 5 of us, and then they give us, of course, cab vouchers, because they still out here giving people taxi and cab vouchers instead of paying for you to get in the Uber or Lyft or whatever it is. Fine, people still doing cabs. My dad was a cab driver for a lot of years. Hey, get your money. but that's just wild. So we got literal paper vouchers. I remember my dad getting these when I used to help him in high school. You know, when people used to pay him with these vouchers or whatever. But you get paid with the vouchers. So we get I think it was 2 vouchers or 4 vouchers because they gave us two cabs. So 2 cars to get us to the hotel, and then 2 cabs to get us back from the hotel. And I keep stuttering on hotel and motel because my next point was that they sent us to a motel. We got to the Red Roof Inn. Now, Red Roof is about to catch some strays, pop, pop, pop. You about to catch a few strays. Just because the fact that I'm sure you're not expecting to be, upper class or whatever, but it was nonsense. I mean, they gave us a connecting room that had had a screw in it in the lock to keep the 2 rooms separate. So when you rent it out, you have to unscrew it so the door, you can get the walkway from room to room. Bruh, just make it a regular lock or not. Like, why is there a literal screw like somebody did it with a drill into the lock? But anyway, I had to unscrew that so I can open the door so we can walk from room to room. Of course, 5 of us. The beds were super uncomfortable. It looked really subpar. Like I said, I'm not trying to. This video is not about Red Roof. Y'all catching strays just because y'all were just a part of the experience, which was trash, right? I'm just got to be honest with you. It was nothing to write home about at all. And when I guess if I am writing home, I'm writing a terrible letter home about what I experienced, because it's just not a place that I would want to sleep ever again. And again, I know that there's worse places, but that was bad, bro. And it's like for American Airlines to just that y'all partnering with this, like y'all trying to do the least amount that y'all can do. That's what it's basically seeming like. Like, let's do the least amount that we can for these customers when we inconvenience them. Which is crazy to me. But all right. So talking about the room, talked about the screws in there for the Red Roof Inn. Honestly, just the vending machines were empty. I had to walk across the parking lot to another like extended stay place, go hit up their vending machines to get water and like chips and just stuff that we needed for the room. You know what I mean? Just to try to have some kind of snacks for the night or whatever. To eat while we're there. So, I mean, that was already an issue in itself. Just staying there, this place to step apart, but just like having to deal with that, like, bro, y'all can't even stock the vending machines. Like, either way it goes. So, mind you, 2 cabs. We have 4 vouchers, 2 cars to get to the motel, and 2 cars to get us back to the airport when we were supposed to be at our 10 o'clock flight the next morning. At 1 a.m. in the middle of the night, something told me, I'm just up. I don't know why. Of course, it's probably because I was just uncomfortable, can't sleep. There's 2 pillows on each bed. So basically, you had 1 pillow to lay on. It was just uncomfortable. The beds are like full-size beds. I mean, of course, there was 2 beds in the other room. The older 2 boys got that room. Then myself, my wife, and my younger son got the other room. He had a bed to himself. Of course, we slept in the bed together, and it was just a terrible night. Of course, we didn't sleep very much. And then at 1 a.m., of course, you're getting alerts that the flight is now canceled. Canceled. So, now that we have this new information at 1 in the morning with the kids sleep knocked out in the motel, we now have to figure out what it is. They're like, choose another flight, pick a different one on the app. Like, what? Like, what? What do you mean pick another flight? Like, you put me, I paid for 5 direct flights from Phoenix to Miami. Not layover, not to say that, that's anything to do with layover, but that's what we paid for. We paid for 5 direct flights to Miami and 5 direct flights home. No layovers. So now we got to figure it out. You pick a flight. Here's the list of flights. Of course, we're walking around with our hair on fire. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, so now we got to get to the airport. Like, I'm not calling. Of course, we try to call customer service, phones ringing. Nobody's picking up. The whole wait time, 3 hours, 5 hours. So it's like we don't have our car. Our car's locked up in the parking spot place. So of course, what do? We got these 2 vouchers. We're gonna use one of the vouchers to get back to the airport. Do we bring all the kids now or not? Like, nah, I think it's good to just, even though, like I said, they're young adults, let's leave them here. They're asleep. They have phones. We can just go. Remember, mind you, we're 7-8 minutes from the airport because that was the whole goal. And I did that for a reason, which I'm glad I did at this point. Because now, we're right here getting that information at 1 o'clock versus to being 25 minutes away. All right, so now we're at the point where we're gonna go ahead and go back to the airport, just myself and my wife, because we got to figure out what the heck is going on. Like, no, we're not gonna put it in my lap for me to pick a flight. No, you're gonna stand at the counter with me, and we are gonna work this out, like right now, so we can know where we're supposed to go, versus to us just clicking something and going along with it. So we did go up there. We stood in another line, and remember, our original flight was 10 a.m. that morning. So we're going, when we wake up at like 1 or 2 in the morning, I think like 2 in the morning when I find the text. It was canceled at 1 a.m., but I think we didn't catch it until like 2 or 3, I think. We're on our way to the airport at like 3 in the morning. So now we get out of the cab because we used the other voucher. Now we got 1 voucher left because they gave us 4. 2 cars, remember? On the way there, 2 cars on the way back. All right, so we used 2 cars to get there, left us with 2 vouchers. Of the 4, we used 1 to get back to the airport when we found out it was canceled at 3 o'clock in the morning. And now we got 1 voucher left. So now we're at the airport at the counter scrambling, right? Like, what's going on? We figure out how we need to get us there. What options do we have? What other flights do we have? So now we're at that point. So we get to the point where, of course, all this is happening. They say supposedly because there's like weather issues. They gave us 2 reasons: weather issues, and then they also said staffing. Like, I think it was like one overlapped the other one. Like, you're having staffing issues because of the weather. Like, if you can't get a crew from Georgia to Phoenix or whatever, then that plane over there doesn't have flight attendants to take it from Phoenix to Boston or whatever it is. So they were just in a big, show, for lack of a better term, and that's what everybody was dealing with. It wasn't just us, of course, during that time. So now we're like, what can we do? So they're like, we go through all of these different scenarios, nothing where they have 5 people, and that's really what the challenge is because now you're trying to find space when everybody's been displaced for 5 people to get to a certain destination. So the only result they have now is, of course, what? Standby. Now we're on standby. Remember, we have to get on a boat, a ship, whatever. But we have to get on a ship. So we can't be pushing it to the limit. We board the ship on June 2nd. Okay? June 2nd, I think at 10 a.m. we had priority boarding. So we need to be there before then. Like, well before then, which is what our goal. We plan to be there like the 30th. So, or the 31st or something like that. I think it was like the late night on the 30th. So, at this point now, we're going into getting, on June 1st, which is my old Ross's birthday, which is also his videos out. You can try to see that video when we're in Miami for Ross's birthday. But, so now we're cutting it close to that point. So now we're on standby. They said we're going to be on standby for an 8 o'clock flight. 8 o'clock flight. Cool. So we're like, where's our luggage then? So we just want to, we'll go ahead and take our luggage back. We got stuff that we can get out of there since, of course, we couldn't have, you didn't still have our luggage, right? No. Our luggage is in Miami. They have room for the luggage, but not room for us. When did it go to Miami? All the flights were canceled and delayed. So when did it even get there? Turns out, our luggage went on the original flight and was in Miami all along. Just sitting in Miami while we're here. What the